Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Terra Invicta. We actually looked at this on the channel. We did a fair few episodes in a pre-release build. I've been sitting on this for a few weeks under embargo and I've been chipping away at it and I really enjoy it, right? It's not without its faults. It is going into early access pretty much now. It is very much a game in the vein of spreadsheet simulator, right? So if you lean towards your 4Xs, your Crusader Kings, political intrigue, a lot of the paradox stuff, you know, dare I say like Hearts of Iron, then you're probably going to be right up your alley here. Funnily enough, I don't love all those games. I really like Crusader Kings 3, but a lot of them I bounce off of. For whatever reason, this game really tickles me. I think it's because of the theme, the subject matter, where it is first contact, we've got an alien force, and essentially you take the role of a shadowy, you know, puppet string faction on Earth against other ones with your own sort of personal agenda. And you're trying to steer all the sort of moving cogs in the background towards on-world politics, and then potentially going into the stars to build ships and mine asteroids and all sorts of stuff. So it's incredibly ambitious and far-reaching. And okay, sure, it's not all there, but I think any game with this ambition, especially on an indie budget, it's going to have issues. But I think it's very commendable. So there's your bloody review. Go buy it on the back of that. Okay, so let's play some, and potentially, if it's well received, we'll put a whole bunch of episodes up. Turn it into a playthrough. Why not, right? So you've got your factions, right? Resistance will probably avoid, because they were the sort of preview build one that everyone played. I played, and you can see there the description: protect humanity by resisting aliens. They're the sort of tutorial faction, right? Let's do something different. Now, Humanity First, I actually chipped away with a bit, honestly, just because they're the first one down. Eradicate the aliens and those who support them. I kind of like that bloody ones and zeros binary way of looking at things. So that's an option. Excuse me. The initiative, exploit the alien arrival to gain power. I mean, it's a bit bloody slimy, isn't it? But also an option. We've got the servants, who are absolute scumbag grubs, probably not worth talking about. They want to support the aliens by any means necessary, whatever. They want to be in the bloody cuck friend zone. We've got the protectorate, protect humans by appeasing the aliens. Look, I can understand the pragmatism behind that, but that still seems a bit bloody beta in my estimation. Convince the aliens that we are equals is the sort of difficult scenario. We'll be staying away from that just because I'm not necessarily good at this game, or any game for that matter. However, my Logos doesn't really like that. It's like, fuck the aliens. Let's show them we're better by eradicating them. Where's the one that lets me enslave the aliens as a rule from the very beginning? I think that's brass balls. And then you got Project Exodus, escape the aliens by sending humans to other stars. Now that seems more like, you know, hiding your bloody veggies in the corner of the plate, not really dealing with the problem. But I can get around that. Anyway, so after my little rant and an intro, I kind of feel like Humanity First we will go with. I mean, the initiative, protectorate. No, we'll just go Humanity First. That's fine. You can change the size of the thing for sim issues. I've had some pretty devastating crashes, and the game has not got a great autosave system, so it is not unheard of for me to lose a couple of hours of gameplay grinding into the night. So we'll see how we go. It gets quite anal about arranging and putting all the modules on your space stations and spaceships and all that sort of stuff. But that's sort of late game. Well, mid to late, it depends. One of the factions, I think it might be the Academy, already controls a space station when they start, so very different starting conditions depending on who you pick. But getting into space is sort of an aspiration early on, but it's going to be a while before you get there. You essentially need there's all sorts of different incomes, right? Like research, money, you know, influence, things that are a bit more normally tangible. There's a concept around boost income, which is tonnage per annum that you can send into space using local facilities. It's an attempt to make a tangible currency out of something that, you know, you probably only do 1 or 2 launches a year, even at, you know, top production. It's cool. It's a cool concept. It's also got equatorial restraints as well. So if you basically near the equator, you will have a better generation of boosts. But that's just one aspect as well, right? Taking over all the nations, sending different people to war. You can generate navies and armies. You can generate nuclear weapons. You can obviously mess with your opposition by cooing control points. There's a lot. Information overload, yes. But we'll go through it. I'll go through it at bloody my speed, which is pretty bloody slow. But the first sort of priority is kind of a bit of a fire sale smash grab for control points, and
remember the
you
day
build a
the
strategy
stars
around
answered, the day we learned we were not alone.
Geez, that was a bit of a load time.
The sun rose on an unfamiliar universe. Some of us saw wondrous possibility, and others existential danger.
Yeah,
The
right.
astronomers had insisted that the bright streak in the sky was no natural phenomenon. Most of us didn't really believe them until it burned through our atmosphere and crashed in a remote region, leaving only wreckage and uncertainty.
So this is where it
In our
kicks off,
ignorance,
basically,
we fractured,
with
taking
an alien
refuge
vessel
in our
crashing.
most primal emotions. Each of us saw what we wanted to see. Every war is won well before it is fought.
True.
Leaders must be prepared, their plans in place, and their weapons ready. The
Yes.
sheepdog cannot be trained when the wolves already hunt the flock. Our enemy is surely stronger. Their plans unknowable.
Yep.
But this is our home. It can be our fortress or our tomb.
That's a pretty good
There
pep
is only
speech.
victory
I like
or
that,
death.
that he openly acknowledges that they're better than us. Because, you know, we are. We're immediately in underdog position. So it crashes somewhere random, and it just happens to be in bloody Turkey, right? You can go there, take there,
Reporting
have a
for
look.
duty, Colonel. The Council has appointed you leader of our organization. I am Hans Castillo, your Adjutant General.
This guy's
The
kind
alien
of your
arrival
stand-in
represents
avatar.
the greatest danger to humanity in the history of our species.
Yes.
As such, we have formed a small group of military, intelligence, and science personnel committed to protecting our planet.
Correct.
We must build up our numbers and influence, investigate the aliens and their activities, and defend ourselves from extraterrestrial threat by any means necessary.
Agreed. Absolutely. Yes. Recommend we send a counselor to investigate the crash site and then try and influence other nations. Okay, cool. So I guess it's going to be, like, I'm not going to call it a tutorial because I feel if you're learning from me, you're in all sorts of fucking trouble. But we will tutorialize a little bit, okay? So we can continue along. You can see that we start with two counselors, and the game does this cheeky thing where it reads your computer's hardware or something like that, and it knows I'm an Australian. So if you pick it up and play it, one of your counselors will be guaranteed from your home region. It doesn't actually make a huge difference, but it's kind of cool little feature. Got our little currencies up the top. Priority number one would be setting research. Now the research has a cool party trick. Now this is our team's research here, and if you meet these conditions, we can unlock other projects, right? And at the moment, all we really have are these repeatable projects because we haven't done any research. You can see there that we can essentially do 100 points of research in audience or even that, right? To get a currency payout, and then once you clear it, it will just increment up to 200. I think it increments 100 each time, right? So diminishing return on investment, but still this is your sort of holding pattern research profile. You can change how much you're putting into it, and that doesn't really matter if this is the only one that you're doing, but these are the sort of global research trees that are going on at the moment. And you can see all the other factions. And I can go, all right, well, I want to put in, you can see that's a 50-50 split, right? Or maybe 67% or 70, or maybe I want a little taste of that, right? Now, the reason that you would potentially do this is it will give you, say, when we complete the research objective, we are not alone, whoever puts the king's share in of research will be allowed to choose the next one along from the tech tree. And God help us opening this up. All right. Now, it's kind of obfuscated, right? So, to me, the idea of steering tech, especially in the early game, is kind of strange because you don't really fucking know what any of it does and how it's possibly going to benefit you. You know what I mean? It's still baby steps. You're trying to figure out where you're going. So personally, the game I don't feel really incentivizes me to contribute to that until I have a clear objective. So I'm just going to leave it on default and only research for myself, and I'll let the other world powers bloody research that, stuff them. Anyway, so get that out of the way. We've got 2 counselors we can tab through, and these are all their little abilities that they can do.
Ready to go.
What you can also do is you can go up to here to your council, and we can recruit into the other slots and fill them out, which is probably not a bad idea. Now, we've got an evangelist and we've got a scientist, right? Can we... Sometimes they go for 30. David Brown, also an evangelist. And this dictates their mission skill set. I actually don't want to recruit him because I don't want to just duplicate the skills exactly. So what we'll do is we'll save up influence and get someone at 60. Now, I'm not an expert. I don't know what I'm... I know some of the moving parts, but it doesn't mean I know what the optimal path is. This here is the special investigate alien activities, right? So you just click that. You can press tab, but he already knows where to go. So this is where the alien craft crashed, and we're going to dispatch this counselor.
We'll see what we can find
to go and investigate. All right. Meanwhile,
I'm here.
We got old mate over here, Chang Mao Wei. This one's what we want here. Control Nation. Now I think they patched this in, but you can go to this pull down. It's really handy. You can just sort of scroll in order of chances of taking over a control point. And look who's at the North Korea at the top. Oh, hello. So the chances of him taking over North Korea is quite high. That's good. Oh wow. My goodness. Public opinion. Humanity first. Destroy the aliens. Well, there we go. Look at this. North Korea's on bloody Team Scarlet. Fuck it. Let's do that. Let's make North Korea home. A controversial run already. Let's go. All right. So you just go confirm assignments. You want to turn the game speed up through the roof, and then you just unpause it and let it bloody happen. All right. New project available. Now able to unlock the science lab now this is for HAB modules. Honestly, that's not something that's happening anytime. We don't have anywhere we can build HAB modules. You can launch rockets to build space stations and build modules onto them. I think you might even be able to do land bases, but I'm not sure because I'm just not sure. So I'm not that worried about pivoting project. We may now recruit our factions management team, right? So here we go. Lobbyists and influencers. Increase our influence income. Handy. Scientists and engineers. Also kind of cool. Ops income. Yeah. Money. I feel like it's between the first two. Let's get some lobbyists and influencers. Okay, cool. So we've got these little story beats like a Stellaris. UN Security Council meets to discuss the alien arrival. Unfortunately, the hoped-for show of international unity did not materialize, with China, Russia, and the United States accusing each other of hiding knowledge about the alien crash and preventing full access to the site. Well, who's surprised by that? We have an opportunity to shape events to our advantage, even make our case directly to the nations of the world. However, with the eyes of the world on these meetings, now, councillors' risk exposure to enemies is high. I say, bang. Oh, look at that, 50 influence. Great deal of information will be exposed. Public opinion boost. Remain in the shadows. Now, I don't really know the repercussions of this. Fuck it. Have our manifesto. Front and center, here we are.
Opportunity. Our test is
looks like the initiative's done the same thing.
Our only hope.
And the protectorate. Right? I'm not really worried about reading their bloody manifesto. They're the opposition as far as... You're either with us or against us. One, humanity. The growing realization that we are not the sole sapient species in the universe is causing many to see their fellow humans in a new light, leading to hopes that we can overcome our capacity for strife to address the alien arrival as one people. Let's set aside our differences. All nations gain one cohesion. It might be a good time to actually have a look at that. We'll have a look at North Korea. You can see that their cohesion is... Isn't it unity? I'm getting confused now. You've got so many different stats. Have a look at here. Extreme inequality. Perfect. Per capita GDP. Education. Cohesion. There you go. Hegemonic. 9.9. So as you fund these nations and direct them, they'll take different paths, right? We could probably change North Korea, right? But at the moment, we don't have control over the overflow. Let's just continue along, because we're going to take control of this. Well,
Recon complete.
2% chance that we're not actually, but we'll see. Alright, so I've learnt some useful information from my investigation of the UFO crashdown site in Turkey. Receive a small bonus to our xenology research going forward. Okay, thank you for reporting in. We've completed that objective. This site was heavily guarded by local security forces. This raises the worrying possibility that locals may already be cooperating with the aliens. That's a bit of a stretch, but, you know, let's just be safe. Was their crash in this particular location an accident, or were they attempting to meet with human collaborators? In any case, we've managed to get a hold of some samples from the crash site. We should begin research immediately, so we get a little boost there. So that's cool. Now we've got a new objective. Research alien signatures. The samples recovered from the crash site may teach us more about our unwelcome visitors. Research them as soon as possible. We may not have much time. We'll actually go straight there. You can see these are our objectives. Research alien signatures is the main one. Control Earth's nations. Industrialize space. Build the council. So it's sort of broad. What we can do here is we could pivot project. I thought you said that I had unlocked it. Maybe not. Maybe it will in a moment.
We're taking over.
So we've taken over North Korea. We have full influence of it. They only have the one control point. And we're pretty well fortified because they really align with us. They're very much on team, let's fucking eradicate the aliens, right? Now we can change project, right? So we'll change that to alien signatures. You can see it's not that expensive. Allows the faction to detect alien abductions on Earth, right? Pivot that. Off we go. So like a lot of the Stellaris, Crusader Kings, they're the ones I'm more familiar with. Once you get the hang of all the moving parts, your input is not super high. Do you know what I mean? You fire and forget, and then you wait for an event to tick over or a turn to end or what have you. But there's still so much to understand, and I only know like a few percent, right? Look at this army under our command. We've got the 820th Armored. Let's go. Let's inspect the troops. What is this? Space Launch Center? Oh shit! We've already got a... Oh right, mate. Big play taking North Korea. Let's go. We've got a fucking army right here. Yes. Okay, cool. So we've got assignments ready. We've got a shitload of influence. So what we'll do is expand the council. Again, scientists, evangelists. I kind of want to avoid them. Tycoon. I like the idea that you got Control Nation and Purge. I'm a fan. However, do one of you have coup? Because it will be handy to have coup.
Your orders?
Alright. I mean, the thing is, you can sack people out of your council. Let's see. Executive? What are you? An astronaut? Oh, that's kind of cool. Assault enemy space asset. Holy shit. Executive. Evangelist. Tech mogul. Oh, okay, maybe not coup. Alright. Alright, well, let's get a bloody tycoon. We'll get you, mate. That sounds nice. Confirm. And what else can we get? Executive. Control Nation. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not really getting too worried about their stat lines. I don't want to be that anal. I just want to fill out the roster. You can do research to up the points, but for now, that'll do. Okay, cool.
What's the op?
What is the op? What we're going to do is start controlling nations. Now, there's going to be different strategies. And I've looked at just snatching up all the little bloody places, but I also wonder, I'm pretty sure there's a big bonus to geolocation, right? Because you can force them to ally with each other, right? So 13% to take South Korea, but we could put influence into it. 37. We don't have a lot of influence, do we? Deselect this dude. His persuasion's only 2. Do I have anyone?
Acknowledged.
He's pretty jacked. Right? So what if we go there? 75. I'll take 75%.
Bringing them on board.
Sounds good. Okay. 1%. Oh my god. 0. Ain't getting into China. Now, the thing with China is that they don't necessarily have a high public opinion, and that can help align us. You can see all the plus and minuses down here. What we could do is potentially, I mean, Japan as well. We could attempt to sway public opinion in the region. You know, that's sort of an option. But we also want our incomes as soon as possible. You know, we don't want to drag too long. Okay, another point is this up here. This is your capacity for control. You can see we're only at 3 out of 152, because that's all that North Korea is taking up. And some nations, it depends on their GDP mostly. Like, essentially the big players are going to be harder to wield, right? Require more asset. So I think what we're just actually going to do is take some easy pickings. We'll take Pacific States.
Putting our people in place.
Ready for orders.
We will take Tanzania.
Putting our people in place.
Just to flesh it out.
At your service.
Just to get as much income happening as we can. Somalia, bugger it, why not?
Bringing them to our side.
Man, I'm getting all the boys together.
Ready.
Now, as far as the army
Acknowledged.
goes, I don't really think I can do much with this. I mean, I could attack China, but I don't think that's a fucking wise idea. Or South Korea. Deploy army. Oh my goodness. Armies will engage in a battle with enemy armies and occupy enemy regions. Naval armies may move between. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm making an attempt at South Korea anyway. I might be able to just fold them in and unite them. Scarlet, the great bloody unifier. Anyway, let's see how we go. Confirm assignments. Off we go. Cool.
We must not only defend human lives.
Yeah, whatever, Shaz. Enemy counselor detected. Yeah, so I think in the early days, everyone sort of plays nice fairly well, but you can, like, assassinate each other's counselors.
Support.
Look at this. Tanzania, controlled.
We've gained significant
Pacific
support.
States. Somalia.
We're taking over.
Yeah, but we're waiting for the big one. Let's
Got
go!
our
South
people in
Korea.
place.
Now, the thing is, just because I am shadow puppeting both those countries in the background, that doesn't mean they like each other. Far from it, right? However, this allows me to set national policy, and I can sort of force them to play nice. Maybe.
Standing by for orders.
Big maybe. So first things first, if we go to you, and then we go relations, rivals, South Korea. Let's manage rivals. You don't like Australia? What's that all about? Interesting. Hang on. Oh, what happened then? Well, actually, maybe we can manage. Oh, South Korea has 4 control points. Ah. Manage. Was it unaligned? Alright, unaligned because they're not controlled by any of the other factions, right? So if we find them on the list somewhere... Fuck, where are they? I probably scrolled straight past them. Oh, there they are there, right? So we're rivals. Now we can attempt to move the needle, as it were, right? But it's not letting us, and why is that? End rivalry requirement. Can't be at war with each other pass. Cannot end rivalry until 29th of December. Alright, so there seems to be a cooldown period before I can do that. That's fine. We're going to keep working on taking over South Korea. Now, South Korea doesn't really like us. But that's alright. They can learn to love us. So we're going to continue to put our best man on the job.
Control.
And then you can't do much, can you? So I'm just going to get you to start taking over random places. Oh yeah, apparently there's another point on Tanzania that he can take.
We'll be running this place in no time.
What
At
about
your
you?
service.
Alright.
We'll bring this nation to our
Ratnakaran
side.
States, or
Ready for
however
my
you
mission.
pronounce it. Alright. We'll go Myanmar.
Putting our people in
Or
place.
Myanmar, sorry. And I think that's everyone
Reporting it.
covered. Cool. So our research ticking along. Very nice. Now, I will show you about how to handle priorities. So you've just got your default here, but there's a whole bunch of presets, right? Kleptocratic, developing, that sort of thing, right? The default is destroy. Now, spoil, they all have all these little rules on how to balance. Spoils, for example, is dictated by essentially the wealthy and how they kind of expect to cut off the top is probably the best way to put it. Regions. Anyway, so just leaving it on the default is fine, and you can see where a lot of the development's going. Nuclear weapons, mission control, which is like your capacity to build space stations. So with one of those, we can build one space station, but if we can, expand on that. Getting boost up is a big deal as well if we do want to push out to the stars. So we'll just leave it on the default. But you can sort of fidget with it and try and do something, yourself. But because it's so early days, like, what is the plan? It's hard to tell. Alright, project complete. We've completed the Alien Signatures project. There is no doubt extraterrestrial life has touched down on Earth. The many questions that we have regarding its origin, its species, and its intent will have to wait. All that matters now is finding it by cross-referencing reports of unusual events in the vicinity of the landing site with similar data to our global intelligence network. We've developed a tracking system able to reliably identify disappearances most likely resulting from alien activity. Right? So we can now detect abductions on Earth. We've completed the research. Yep, cool. We have guests. Researchers established beyond all doubt that an alien life form survived the crash. It exited the area and is now at large on Earth. We're already hearing rumors of missing animals and chillingly missing people. Look like those old stories of alien abductions might not be just stories anymore. We need to find out what our unwelcome visitors are doing, and quickly. Take me there. So now we've got a new objective. Investigate alien abductions. So this will sort of just manifest as we go along. Research the alien origin. And in order to do that, you could see we needed to unlock Skywatch, which is a global tech path. Salvage alien technology. So this is all pretty business as usual, right? I'll have to put in new research. Probably don't need the science lab. Management research, I believe, increases the amount of control points that you can take on the planet, so we don't need that yet, but it would be handy at some point. Off we go. Coup in Somalia. Right. So, what a coup does, let's just be clear. So, you've got sort of, you can, if a control point is neutral, see how this one has my symbol, it's because I own it, right? So everyone's trying to snatch up control points, but they all start neutral. So if it's neutral, you just go control point, straightforward. Now, if it's taken, what you can do is a purge, and a purge is fantastic, because a purge will just straight flip control points to your control. It can be tricky to do, but that's like the god play, but the difficulty comes with it. What a coup does is it actually just resets all points in the region to neutral. So it's not quite as effective as a purge, but it will make someone release their fucking stranglehold. Essentially, it's a middle way between purge and control, right? So you coup the country and then you try and go in there and take it over. And they could obviously be influenced by different things like destabilizing the nation. So that's what he's done. He's couped Somalia. So if we go there, well, hang on a sec. Maybe I've got it back to front. Purge. You sure he didn't purge Somalia? It said he couped it. He shouldn't have control of it. Maybe I'm getting it back to front. But if I recall, yeah, a coup deletes
Our
the
supporters
points.
are in place.
Maybe it's the other way around. I could swear that the purge seemed to be giving me points. Anyway, what do I know?
Our supporters are in place.
That should give you a bit of an idea, though.
Our supporters are in place.
All right, cool. Control nation failure. Someone else is probably trying to get whatever it is. Oh no, that was another South Korean point that we were going for. Right? Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. Terra Invicta. Look, let me know what you reckon, your interest around it. This is something that you could easily do like bloody 200 episodes of. However, is the interest there, right? We've talked ad nauseum on the channel. I like showing off games, but committing to a playthrough can be a bit of a death spiral, if we're being perfectly honest. I would be open to it because I really, really like this game, but I don't know if the staying power or the interest is there. So let me know. But at the very least, this should stand testament to give you an idea of what the game is. I mean, we didn't even click on the space button. You can see all these asteroid fields you can fight over, and it turns into not quite an RTS, but it has almost total war combat, right? RTS combat. Sorry, I shouldn't say it that way, but I think Total War is a better example. Yeah, anyway. Wonderful game. Big fan. Let me know your thoughts, team. I might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
It'll put you in the pink, and all you have to do is drink, 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 drink.